Hello friends, welcome back to more Reddit stories about entitled people, insane people, and everything in between. Hope you're all doing awesome today. Be sure to subscribe for more and let's get right into today's Reddit posts. Having my uncle arrested. So I moved into my apartment I own back in 2020. I keep to a very minimalistic lifestyle, so I don't actually own very much at all. But what I do own, I like it to be a good investment for the long run, relevant for later. I ran into a plumbing issue that wasn't easy to fix, at least not for me, who knows zero about plumbing. I called my uncle asking if he could help. He came over with my aunt to take a look at what was going on, and I don't like her. There are quite a few reasons. She took my grandmother's ring despite it being willed to me. She pushes over people to get what she wants. She uses her mother's death as an excuse, always leaving out that her father and she were, according to those who knew them, exceptionally cruel to the mother. My uncle used to be really great until she came along. Now he bends to her every whim. I digress. She comes and complains that it looks like I am dirt poor, that I have minimal furnishings and that it looks uptight. I say I'd rather make memories than have stuff and leave it there. Then she notices my silver box I keep my sterling flatware in. Now this is just me. I spent a good year or so saving money to buy nice flatware. My reasoning was it will grow in value. I can pass it along to my children and it will or can last a long time. She starts asking me what's in it and I brush her off. She keeps on as she does and I say it's heirlooms. Not true, but still. She keeps on and I break, saying it's flatware. She then asks me how many place settings and I say I can't remember. She goes on to say she has this small dinner party and can she borrow it? And I say no. She pouts the rest of the time. They leave, with my uncle saying he needs a few tools and a specific part to fix my plumbing, and he will come back later. I thank him and say bye. We arrange for about a week later for him to come back with the key I left in the lockbox, since I would be working. I come home. I look around. My damn silver box is missing, and I know exactly who it was. I call the police. I give them all the information and show them photos I took for insurance. Long story short, my box was in their dining room when they showed up and my uncle is arrested for theft. My aunt keeps calling me, screeching at me that I am horrible for this and going to hell for giving him a criminal record. I say she could have thought about that before she made him do that for not being able to take no as an answer. The silver itself is a rarer pattern and not easily replaceable. She threw my comment back in my face, saying, "I thought you wanted memories. It's just stuff." I hung up on her. Am I the a-hole for not helping out the lady who hit my car? Some relevant context. I am financially well-to-do and my car is worth approximately $100,000. A couple months back I was driving and turned left on a protected green light. I was hit by a driver coming the opposite direction who ran their red light. Thankfully no one was hurt. The cops came and I told them what happened, and a witness who was behind me backed up my story. The driver was a young lady and she apologized and said she was distracted and didn't see the red light. We exchanged contact and insurance information, and the cops assigned her 100% of the blame in the report. My car was totaled. Her insurance only covered about half the damages I was owed. Not a problem. That's why I carry underinsured motorist insurance, and my insurance covered the remainder and I was made whole. A week or so ago I got an email from her. She said that I was ruining her life, as she was being sued by my insurance company for the amount they had to pay over her insurance's max coverage. She would have to drop out of college and find a lawyer to fight the case, not to mention the damages she'd owe if she lost. She asked me to drop the sue and work out some other way to fix the situation. I replied and explained that I was not suing her. It was not my decision. I did not have any influence over what my insurance's legal team was doing, and that she had been judged as solely responsible for the accident, so it was out of my hands. She also wrote that if I had been driving a normal car, her insurance would have covered all the damages, and it's not right that she loses her future because of the type of car I chose to drive. She wrote back asking if I could personally loan her the money to pay off the damages, and then she would work out some way to pay me back. I have ignored this email. I was talking to a couple friends and told them this story, and one of them said that even though she was responsible for the accident, he could see her side of the story and I should consider loaning her the money since I could afford it, which is true. Am I the a-hole for not helping her out? You're definitely not an a-hole just for not wanting to lend her the money, OP. Once the insurance providers have taken care of this, it's completely out of your hands. So your insurance company suing her really has nothing to do with you at all. You're completely exempt from this equation. So for her to actually ask you to lend her tens of thousands of dollars or who knows how much is completely ridiculous. As if you owe her this favor because you dared drive an expensive car. The argument that it's unfair for people to drive an expensive car on the road because I can't afford it when I crash into them and total it is honestly kind of hilarious. And you know, sure, it probably is a pretty big financial disaster for her, and people make mistakes and I'm sure she regrets it. And she's probably desperate for a way out, which is why she's asking you for this. But if you don't want to agree to something like that, I sure wouldn't hold it against you for saying no. Chaos on No Children Night. My friend Lucy used to be a waitress at a restaurant in an army town in order to pay for college. This restaurant was higher end. It was rare for kids to eat there to begin with. However, on the 14th of every month, there is a No Children Night. You have to show your ID to prove you're over 18. These nights are also a bit fancier than usual. There's a dress code, coat check, 5-course menus, more expensive ingredients, the works. You also need a reservation and pay in advance to have dinner there on No Children's Night. These nights are so popular that reservations are made at least a month in advance. As you can probably guess, the patrons love it. Well, most of them anyway. Lucy normally worked summers, but when it was the holidays, she'd work there for some extra cash. She was back in town around Valentine's Day, February 14th, her junior year of college, when the owner, John, called and asked her if she was willing to work the night as they were short-staffed. He even promised her a free meal of her choice. Lucy agreed, knowing she was going to expect a good night and tips alone. Valentine's Day is the most popular no children night for pretty obvious reasons. Lucy saw more than one woman wearing a fur coat and wearing expensive jewelry. There were even a few officers in dress uniform. The night was swinging, and then things went to hell in a handbasket. Lucy was carrying a tray of food to a table when all of a sudden she's body slammed by someone. She lost her balance and fell, sending food and plates everywhere. Fortunately, she was more surprised than anything else. There, running around the restaurant like it was on fire, were 3 kids, ranging in ages from 10 to 2. They're darting under tables, pushing other patrons, screaming, shouting, laughing, just being obnoxious. John rushes over to Lucy. "Are you okay?" he asked, helping her to her feet. "Yeah, I'm fine," Lucy said. "Thanks." At this point, a couple of patrons and the other servers are catching the little hooligans. Another server arrives with a dustpan and broom and takes control of the mess. John rounds up the kids, drags them back to the front, and Lucy sees that Dick Entitled and his wife, Karen, are there. "What are your children doing here?" John asked, his voice full of barely contained rage. "The sitter canceled last minute," Dick Entitled said. "It's no children's night. I would have given you a refund had you told me," John shouted. "Your brats knocked over a waitress. It's a wonder she wasn't hurt." "Don't you dare call my children that," Karen said, wagging a bejeweled finger at John. "We pay good money to keep your lights on. You will see all 5 of us, and don't expect a tip." "No," John said. "You are going to take your children home, and your family are not coming back. Ever. Don't expect a refund either. Your money will be used to pay for the food and plates your brats ruined." The Entitled family left, and Lucy assumed that was the end of that. But the night was not over. In the back of the restaurant by the restrooms, there's a door that leads to the back parking lot. It's left unlocked during business hours and is equipped with an ear-splitting alarm as it's a fire exit. Unfortunately, it was just a regular door, not one that can only be accessed by the inside. Sometime later, Lucy is introducing herself to some patrons when there's a loud ear-splitting siren. Lights above the fire alarms flash. Everyone leaves, thinking the kitchen is on fire or something. Because the alarm is connected to the fire department, they arrive with lights and sirens blaring. They arrive and check the building, and there's no signs of a fire anywhere. The fire department disengaged the alarm and everyone returns to dinner. Lucy assumes it's a faulty alarm, or someone accidentally opened the fire door and doesn't think more about it until after the night is over. She's enjoying a dish the chef prepared for her when John slumps in the chair across from her, looking defeated. "What's wrong?" she asked. He proceeds to tell her. After the firefighters confirmed there was no fire, John, like Lucy, assumed the alarm was either faulty or someone accidentally opened the fire door. He checked the indoor security camera aimed at the door, only to see it be open from the outside. Suspicious, he checked the outdoor camera. Clear as day, there's the 10-year-old entitled outside, pulling the door open before running off. As it's now a crime, John sends the footage to the police, and they pay a visit to the entitled family. At first, they tried to deny anything. But when the officer said that John was intending to press charges, the 10-year-old revealed Dick and Karen had paid him $100 each to open the door and set off the alarm. Because of his age, the 10-year-old wasn't charged. However, CPS paid the family a lovely visit, and the entitled family settled out of court before John could sue the pants off of them. They had to pay for a brand new fire door, one that couldn't open on the outside, as well as a brand new alarm system. From then on, the hostess would wait outside the restaurant to make sure that no children could get in. Job wanted work shirts back when I quit. They received a pile of muddy ashes. Back on February 23, 2014, Sunday, I was driving home from going clothes shopping for my new job I was starting in a week, when my car literally caught on fire with me and my then 4-year-old son in it. I had just bought $200 worth of clothes and my laundry was in my car from the laundromat, including my work shirt and white lab coat. I had already given my notice to my boss that I was leaving, and the next day, Monday, I called in to tell her what had happened, and that I would not be in due to smoke inhalation issues and needing to go buy a new car. This was supposed to be my last day. She decides to tell me then that I needed to return my 3 work shirts and both lab coats, or I would have the costs garnished from my last check. I told her that they were a pile of ash at the salvage yard. She tells me I have to bring them in. Okay, will do. Tuesday, I walk in with a picture of my laundry basket melted in my car, and a Ziploc filled with ashes and mud. I recorded myself giving them to her and telling her again what happened. I got a side-eye and a WTF. I walked out with a smirk. Edited to add that I've been at my new job now for 10 years in March. Best move I ever made. Also, my wages were never garnished. I don't think they legally could, but who knows. Anyway guys, that's going to be all for today. Thank you for watching. Be sure to drop a like if you enjoyed and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. So have an awesome day, take care, and I'll see you next time.